Is this your San Marino accent?
Eavesdroppin.
Oh, hello.
Hello from Sweden.
Hello from England.
Now, for anyone who doesn't know, that is the introduction to Eurovision. Hello from Sweden.
And it's cheerio from London. That's goodbye, isn't it?
It's not howdy doody.
It's not howdy doody.
Howdy
It's
doody.
good day from Australia because they're in it this year. Thanks, Delta Goodrum. She's playing for them.
I saw that. And did you actually see Delta's song?
No, I didn't see it or hear it.
Oh, well, if you go onto the
I
Eurovision...
thought you had to listen to music.
Well, if you go onto the Eurovision
Not watch it.
website, they've got all the videos. They've got the videos of the songs. So you can see, hear, not smell, not taste,
Oh.
not touch. Just see and hear.
I might need to do that because, you know what, last year, Michelle, I remember I was in a caravan in Kent and listening to it on the radio. It wasn't the same.
No, it's not the same. You need the visuals. You need the fireworks. You need all the stuff.
You need the gin, you need the twinkly, I don't know, makeup, I don't know what else. You need room to dance.
You need it all. And look, for anyone who doesn't realise, I know that by the time this comes out, Eurovision will already have been done and dusted. We will know who won. We will know who had the craziest dance moves. We will know who was 0 points.
Nil point.
Probably England. Yes, right now it's Eurovision mania.
Well, it is right here in the Eavesdroppin studios, I suppose. We're a little bit manic on the Eurovision, so much so that we forgot to introduce ourselves.
Oh, God.
Hi,
we
I'm
always
Geordie.
do. Hi, I'm Michelle. You're listening to Eavesdroppin, the comedy podcast.
Yay to
where
you.
we talk about real life, true crime, supernatural, and Eurovision.
10 points for you. Well done for being our listening friends today and most other days. If you do listen all the time, that is. If not, why not?
Exactly. Now, as you know, last episode I talked about Boy George being in Eurovision.
That's right.
I saw the Boy George song.
You saw it. You heard it.
I saw the video. Sorry, I say
Okay.
I saw it because I
Yes,
was on the
it's
Eurovision website.
Strange. It's strange that you say that. I can't quite get my head around it. I saw a song. Have you seen that song yet?
I saw the video.
Got
It is for San Marino, but it's actually, he's a guest singer on it.
Oh,
with
so he didn't
the
write it.
lady who had the Flow Rider. Do you remember a few years ago? It was also the same woman for San Marino.
Oh.
And Flow Rider was the guest. So this year, it's Boy George.
Right. Now I understand. San Marino. Is that a little island off of Italy?
No, it's actually in Italy.
Albania.
No,
Oh.
but it's
A state all of its own?
yeah, pretty much.
Like a country of its own inside? Like the Vatican?
Yes, exactly. I bought a watch there.
Why have they got things like that in there?
Well, because they're a country.
In Italy?
It's a country, I guess. It is its actual own country. It's not Italy.
Is it a bit like Queanbeyan in the ACT, Australian Capital Territory?
No. It is nothing like Queanbeyan. No.
Got it.
I think the Vatican is probably... No, it's like Luxembourg kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Yes,
Well, you know, we can hit all these places up on the Live, Laugh, Love tour, of course.
exactly. That's coming to a town near you.
Live, laugh, and love.
Dance like no one's watching.
Live, laugh, and love. Feel alert. The world needs more alerts. Hello, Brixton. Live, laugh, and love.
Breathe.
Live, laugh, and love.
And relax. Be the best version of yourself.
Come on, Wonka Wonka, show us your hands. Laugh and love.
You don't have to be crazy to live here, but it helps.
So I watched the Boy George song.
Back to Eurovision.
The San Marino, yes.
You watched it.
Geordie, it's utter shit.
Is it?
It's utter shit. He was terrible.
Oh, no.
I feel so bad for saying it because
You
he's not even
bitch.
singing.
What's he doing? Rapping?
Kind of. He just comes on and he's like...
Is it like Shaun Ryder in The Gorillas, which is actually iconic? It's there. Coming up, coming up, coming up. And that's it. You're done. Thanks, Sean. Bye.
That was genius. This is more like the boys in the bar drinking champagne. The boys in the bar.
The boys in the bar.
It was really not good. And I thought, no, Boy George, why are you doing this? For me, you ruined my childhood dreams.
Is this your San Marino accent?
Yes.
Okay.
And then also I watched the Sweden entry.
Now, obviously controversial in your household. You are currently in Sweden. Your future husband is Swedish and he will hear nothing against any Swedish acts. You can't say a thing about ABBA. You cannot say a thing against
Roxette.
No.
No.
That's it, Roxette.
You know, she's a national treasure here, dead.
She died.
She's a dead national treasure. But everyone still loves her. Robin, obviously, also they all love her.
You mustn't say a thing about any of them. So whatever Sweden churns out, obviously it's going to be eaten up by your partner.
Won't be eaten up by me because it's a steaming pile of shit. Absolutely
Sorry.
terrible.
Sorry, Sweden.
Awful.
Soz.
Delta Goodrem's song.
Yes.
I mean, I do always wonder why these old singers do Eurovision, because obviously they think they're going to win because they were famous back in the day, but
Yeah, they never do.
they never do, and it must be...
never do. Katrina and the Waves.
I know, it must be a kick in the gut. Australia will never win Eurovision, but Delta's song is good. Like, for
it?
Eurovision, yes.
Give us a line.
Oh, I don't know it. I just listened to it.
Well, you knew the boys in the bar.
That's all he said. Boys in the bar drinking champagne or something. I probably got those words wrong, but it was awful. Delta song, I think, has a shot. The UK entry. Have you listened to that?
Who's that now?
Look, Mum, no hands computer or something.
Is that what they're called?
Yes.
Oh.
Look, Mum, no computer or something.
Look, Mum.
Oh, something like that. It's really fucking terrible. Anyway, it sounded a little bit blur at the beginning, a little bit promising. I was like, oh, well, this could be something. No, chorus sucked. Eins, zwei, drei is what it's called.
Oh, and it's the English entry.
Yeah.
That's a bit weird, isn't it? I know what the favourites are. Finland.
Oh, I didn't hear that one.
Then followed by Greece. So if Finland is Linda... I'm not even going to bother saying it.
Linda LaPlante.
Linda and Pete.
Yes.
Yeah. Linda and Pete. They've got good odds. Greece is next. Achilles, Furto. Denmark, Soren Topegard, Lund. I can't say the name of the song. France, Monroe. That sounds like a band. And then Australia, Delta Goodrem. She's up in the top 5. Eclipse. It's called Eclipse.
Yes. And she was actually good. I actually loved Milkshake Man from last year, the Australian entry. I thought it was genius. Don't get me started on... Australia was robbed on the Milkshake Man.
God, here we go.
I think we can probably both agree that everyone hates the UK when it comes to Eurovision, so I am sure we will be hearing nil points.
Not the year that Sam Ryder did it. Sam Ryder, he's a national treasure now.
Yeah, but it's always 0 points.
Oh, yeah, they all hate the UK. But it's a big party this year, isn't it? Because it's the 70th anniversary. You said it last week.
Was it?
It's the 70th anniversary of Eurovision.
Right. Okay. Yeah, so it's going to be party. And certainly in my house, if I actually... Oh, do you know what? I don't think I'll be able to watch it.
Oh, no.
I think I'm going to be in Norway.
Oh, no. That sucks.
God damn it.
So you can't do the live tweeting that we like to do, the live WhatsApping?
I'm going to be in a bloody cabin in the middle of nowhere, so I don't know.
What are you doing there?
I don't know, because I actually just spoke to Andreas' sister this morning and I said, oh, you know, yeah, cabin, Norway. And she said, oh, just to warn you, it's snowing up there at the moment. And I was like, what the fuck?
Shit. So much for summer.
My suitcase is full of little tiny floral strapless dresses. I was like, I didn't bring snow gear. I don't have any appropriate clothing.
Oh, dear.
I hope there's a fucking sauna there. I'll be in that sauna the whole time. Bada bastu. That was the Swedish entry last year.
Oh.
Sauna.
Sauna. Jesus, you did do your research, didn't you?
Oh, I remember it. Everybody loves it here. It got Song of the Year in Sweden.
Oh, my God. They just love themselves rotten, don't they, the Swedes?
They bloody do. I mean, it is gorgeous here, but it's fucking cold. And there's your weather report.
Thank you.
Any telerecs? Anyone writing in, Geordie?
Well, no, but actually, there was some television recs, people writing in. Did I give them to you? They were from Janneke from Amsterdam. She had written in with a few recs.
Janneke from Amsterdam.
Celebrity Traitors season 2. I don't know when it comes on.
Well, that is being hyped up as being hot shit, I tell you.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I think that's going to be great.
But I have taken a leaf out of your book and said to my husband, should we just finish that final season of Inside Number 9?
Oh,
So we
okay.
did. We are. Sorry, we are currently. We were watching. You and I were watching it. It was
We started watching a
Yeah.
few bits, yes.
So now we're kind of working our way through. It's so dark.
Yeah, but in a fun, light way, I think. No, it's good. I haven't had time to watch bloody anything.
Oh. So you're not watching much telly. I'm watching old bits of telly.
Yes.
What other telly is there? I mean, I haven't really got much on the radar right now, but then the sun's out. I kind of want to be out there doing stuff.
Yeah, but when the sun's not out, I said to Andreas today, he's out there. I've got him out there painting a house. I said, oh, don't you want to just come in and like snuggle and watch something? And we put the fire on. He was like,
He said, no.
No. He's like,
Stop that. Stop touching me, woman. Leave me the hell alone. I'm busy.
He's like, no, I must paint the house. And I've got him building all sorts of things. So we've got to go buy lumber
Lumber.
and all those kinds of things. Yes, lumber.
I haven't heard that word for a while.
Timber. Lumber. We're going to go to the lumber yard.
Lumber puncture.
Oof.
Are we anywhere near talking about your story that you're bringing today?
Yes. And this is going to be fresh for you because I don't think we discussed what I was going to be talking about.
No, we did not.
Now, I was thinking it's been quite a while since we've done a grisly true crime.
Oh, has it?
Yeah.
Oh.
So we're going grisly. We're going grisly today.
Going down the grizzly hole,
Yeah. Oh, that sounds disgusting.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry.
We're doing an Australian true crime murder. Geordie, for me, I feel like this is equal parts horrific and absolutely fucking heartbreaking.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
so,
Do we need to do a trigger warning at the very beginning?
yeah, and I'm going to be doing a few triggers throughout as well because there's some
Okay.
grim stuff. Sorry.
All right then, gang. Well, listen, you and me, I'm talking to the eavesdroppers here. You guys plus me, we're in for a bit of a bumpy ride by the sound of it. Strap on in.
A little bit, yes. So, trigger warning for those who need it, and for those who don't, let's get into it.
True crime time. True crime time. True crime time. True crime.
So, we are going to go back to 2010 to a suburb called Boronia, which is on the outskirts of Melbourne. And look, this true crime case is one that is, I think, so disturbing on so many levels that the trigger is needed for some, as we just said. But we start with Penelope
Pit
I can't
stop.
say it. Penelope, known as Penny Pratt.
Okay, a lot of peas. Fair
Penelope
enough.
Pratt. So probably call her
Yep.
Penny. It's just a bit easier. She was a 27-year-old woman living in Melbourne's outer eastern suburbs. She was the mother of 2 children, and people who knew her said she'd had a difficult life before she was murdered.
Oh,
Did I not tell you she got murdered?
no, but I assumed that somebody you were going to tell me about was going to get murdered, so I
It's
I
Penny.
suppose it was going to be Penny. Yep, okay.
So just off the top, Penny got murdered.
Okay.
There's no big reveal there.
And she's a mum of 2, you said?
She's a mum of 2. Apparently, she had a learning disability.
Oh.
She had struggled socially since she was young, and things like she was bullied at school. She reportedly had trouble fitting in. And as an adult, she was kind of vulnerable to people who wanted to manipulate her. And those details are really important in this story because almost everyone around Penny in the final years of her life seemed to be taking something from her, whether it was money or drugs, because she ended up with a drug problem. They were taking her attention, taking housing. Everyone was trying to get whatever they could from her. From what I've read and heard from a couple of podcasts that I listened to about this case, by 2010, her life was kind of hectic. Her partner had died from a drug overdose, which completely destabilized her emotionally. Then her father died as well. And according to people close to her, that was the breaking point where she really started to spiral psychologically.
Right.
It was also at that point that she became heavily involved with drugs.
Yeah.
And started spending more time with sketchy people connected to that whole kind of drug world. And that's when James John Nathan Potter and Aaron Anthony Gibson entered her life.
Okay.
So James Potter was 26 years old and Aaron Gibson was 33. Both of these guys had violent histories and they both had drug problems. Also, both of them were known to the police because at various points, you know, there were warrants out for their arrests for various crimes. They were in and out of the police station for various things. So, according to people around Penny, the relationship between her and these two guys revolved around drugs and money. And apparently there were constant arguments about debts. Penny would receive her benefits money.
Yeah.
And when that happened, suddenly James Potter and Aaron Gibson would appear, basically trying to get money from her. Because remember, she's
terrible.
a vulnerable
Yeah.
adult.
Oh, it makes me really sad already.
And people later described both James and Aaron as essentially feeding off her vulnerability.
Disgusting.
I think there was a point at which Penny herself started to recognise that that's what was happening. And even though she was, I think, buying drugs from them, she believed they owed her money and they believed that she owed them money.
Oh, dear.
So there were accusations flying in every direction. And when you have this combination of violent drug addicts basically using a mentally and emotionally unwell single mother of two as a cash machine, you can see here that things are not going to go well.
Yep.
So on the 28th of November in 2010, things did reach a breaking point. That day, Penny had voluntarily admitted herself to the psychiatric ward at Maroondah Hospital. Honestly, for me, that one detail changes the entire feeling of this case because this wasn't somebody who was like refusing help or burying her head in the sand about what was going on with her. She actually went to the hospital for help because she knew she wasn't coping well with the death of her partner and then the death of her father. Right. And she knew her mental health was deteriorating. So she checked herself into that psychiatric ward in the hospital because she was overwhelmed by grief. She was on drugs. She was paranoid and just feeling really unstable. But she was only there for a few hours before everything went catastrophically wrong for her.
Oh.
To start with, that evening, James Potter and Aaron Gibson went to her house looking for her. First of all, like I said, they went to her house in Baronia.
Where are the kids?
I don't know where the kids are at this point.
Okay.
If she's checked herself into hospital, she's probably
Someone
give them,
has them
to a friend or a family member, I would
Right.
say. Because she was a responsible mother by all accounts.
Okay.
These guys, first of all, went to her house, and when they discovered she wasn't there, they went to the neighbour, a guy called Graham Flannery. He told them, she's checked herself in at Maroondah Hospital.
Graham, you big blabbermouth.
Well, the thing was that they told Graham, hey, we're here to give Penny some money. We've got money for her. So Graham thought he was doing her a solid. In fact, Graham so wanted to help Penny that he actually phoned Penny for James Potter and Aaron and handed the phone and said, here she is. And they spoke to her. Apparently, to him, it all sounded innocent enough. But obviously, Penny is now terrified because James and Aaron know where she is.
Yeah.
Even though, on the surface, this conversation sounded quite innocent, the subtext was, you owe us money and we're coming to get it.
Right.
So, later that night, James Potter and Aaron Gibson drove to the hospital. They arrived after visiting hours, and apparently they were really aggressive to the night receptionist who was like, get out.
Yeah.
The hospital's closed. You're not coming in here and seeing anyone. And they were effing and blinding and just being really awful. And she called security on them. the security guards showed up and escorted them out.
Yeah.
But somehow these two guys, James and Aaron, managed to get the ear of this security guard. They explained some bullshit story about why they needed to see Penny. So the security guard also called Penny and said, "Oh, these boys want to see you."
Oh, my God.
Yes. So shortly after this happened, which was after 10 o'clock at night, and for reasons I could not find online, Penny discharged herself from that psychiatric ward and left that hospital with James Potter and Aaron Gibson.
Oh, God.
At this point, you can already see how fragile her state of mind must have been, because she checked herself into this psychiatric hospital just hours earlier, then left late at night with two men that she'd been fighting with over drugs and money. And at some stage after leaving the hospital, the three of them were driving around Melbourne's eastern suburbs together, but according to court reports, apparently things became violent inside the car.
Oh, no.
And Penny was allegedly assaulted while they were driving before they arrived back at James Potter's flat, also in Boronia. Inside James's flat was a man called Adrian Krellerkamp. Now, Adrian becomes one of the key witnesses in this entire case because he was physically there during the murder.
Oh, God.
Yes. And according to his evidence later in court, he heard yelling outside the apartment before the three of them even came inside.
Right.
Apparently what he heard was Penny and Aaron Gibson screaming at each other. James Potter apparently told Adrian, "Go outside and calm those two down." And he apparently said to them, "Just yell at them and tell them to come inside." So Adrian goes out there, and eventually Penny and Aaron come into the flat, but they're still screaming at each other. And
no.
Penny is furious, and she's swearing and yelling and demanding her money back from them that they had taken from her.
Okay.
Apparently saying, and this is a quote, "Listen, cunt, when am I going to get my money? Enough's enough. I need my money back." So she's angry. What's interesting, though, is that witnesses later said Penny wasn't directing aggression at James so much, but that most of the anger was focused on Aaron, because James was apparently trying to calm her down by saying things like, "Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's all right."
Trigger warning. Trigger warning. Trigger warning.
But then Aaron pulls out a sawn-off .22 rifle.
Oh, my God.
Obviously, instantly, that atmosphere changes.
Oh.
Adrian Krellerkamp later described Aaron grabbing Penny by the hair and pointing the gun directly at her. And of course, Penny is absolutely terrified and says, "You don't have to do this." Then Aaron shoots her in the jaw.
Oh, my God.
In the middle of the lounge room.
Oh.
Penny apparently immediately grabbed the side of her face and blood is everywhere, but she's still conscious. Aaron says to her, "This is what you get when you fuck with us." What's absolutely horrible about this witness evidence, because this is all in the court reports,
Yeah.
is how calm parts of this whole awful scene sounds. Because it's like the violence escalated so quickly.
And then boom.
And it's almost as if everyone in that room was just like, "What the fuck?" And we're frozen.
Yeah.
So, because Adrian later said in court that James Potter did not try to stop Aaron, didn't intervene, didn't call an ambulance, didn't try to help Penny at all.
And what's Adrian doing?
He's just watching all of this going, "What the fuck?" Apparently instead, Penny was sitting beside James, because Adrian doesn't know Penny at all. He just knows James and Aaron. So apparently, according to Adrian, Penny is sitting beside James, begging him to take her to the hospital, saying, "Just take me to the hospital. I won't say anything." Which is just awful, because clearly,
it's heartbreaking.
Well, she still thinks she's got a chance at surviving this.
Yeah.
She's bargaining with her attackers, basically saying, "I won't tell the police, just let me live." And Adrian later told court that he told James and Aaron, "You're both fucking crazy." And James responded, "Shut up, Paulie," which was Adrian's nickname. And the reason I mention what seems like a throwaway comment is because that piece of conversation became so important in court because the prosecutors argued at that point that James was already fully participating psychologically in what was going on in that room.
Right.
Saying, "Shut up, Paul."
Yeah.
At this point, Penny tried to leave the apartment, but then Aaron Gibson grabbed her arm, forced her into a chair, pressed the rifle against the side of her head, and then shot her again.
Oh, my God.
This second bullet entered Penny's head near the temple, and again, Aaron says to her, "That's what you get if you fuck with us."
What the... Oh, this man is horrific.
Yeah, but Geordie, she's still alive.
No.
At this point. Unbelievably, Penny is still alive.
Oh, my God.
And later during the post-mortem examination, forensic pathologist Dr. Michael Burke found 3 separate gunshot wounds to Penny's head.
No.
Yep. So in his estimation, the shot to the jaw would not have been fatal, and the shot to the side of the head may have been survivable for a short period of time. Mm-hmm. But a third shot, which went through her eye into her brainstem, was the one that would have caused rapid death. And that third shot was fired later in the bathroom. However, after the second shot, James Potter apparently said, "We'd better get her to the bathroom so she doesn't bleed everywhere." So they're just worried about the cleanup at this point.
Oh, my God.
And again, that sentence became incredibly significant during the trial.
Yes.
And James's appeal, because he appealed.
Did he now?
Yep. Because prosecutors argued that it demonstrated that James had moved far beyond just being a passive presence in this crime.
Oh, yeah.
He was a participant and was helping to manage this scene by saying,
"Absolutely.
Get her into the bathroom."
Yeah.
So James Potter and Aaron Gibson drag Penny into the bathroom together. Then they come back into the lounge room and Aaron still has the rifle and says something to James like, "Go and make sure she's dead." So James takes that rifle, walks into the bathroom, and a moment later, Adrian hears another gunshot, and that was the third shot through the eyeball, which was the fatal one.
Oh, my God.
At this point...
That poor woman.
I know. James then comes back into the lounge room and throws the rifle onto the couch, and then he picks up a knife and goes back into the bathroom.
Oh, my God.
And I'm giving the trigger warning.
Here's the
here.
trigger.
Here's the trigger. Adrian Krellerkamp later says he could hear gagging sounds coming from inside the bathroom. And when James came out, he looked pale and sweaty and the knife was covered in blood. And apparently, he said, the head's nearly off.
Oh.
So Penny also had been stabbed directly through the chest into the heart. And the force of the stab wound was described later in court as mild to moderate, but fatal.
So what actually killed her, Michelle? Was it the gunshots to the head or was it the stab to the heart?
They say that that third gunshot
caused instantaneous death.
Yes. These guys are on drugs, right?
They're wild. Oh, my God.
They
like
are
animals.
absolutely wild. They don't know what the fuck is going on. But then, Geordie, the violence gets even more grotesque. And another trigger warning here.
Oh, my God.
It's really grim. Aaron Gibson then takes an ankle grinder into the bathroom and Adrian Krellerkamp can hear the machine running. And when Aaron comes back into the lounge room, he's trying to clean hair out of the grinder.
What the hell? Honestly, Aaron, why haven't you left and gone to the police by this point? Why is he still sitting in this person's house?
Basically, he's terrified because at one point, Aaron turned to Adrian and said to James, "Do I pull it in this fat cunt's head and do we dig 2 holes?"
Oh, my God.
So Aaron is the leader here and Adrian is just looking on.
Jesus.
You know, for me, going in after this girl has been shot 3 times.
What is going on?
Had her throat cut and her head nearly cut off, and then an ankle grinder. That is the most disturbing detail of this case because I cannot process what was happening psychologically inside that apartment. at that moment.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
apparently,
It's very
Geordie, this was all over $160.
Is that all?
This is the amount of money they were fighting over.
That's insane. And a load of drugs. What were the drugs?
And a load of drugs. Oh, I don't know what they're on. They were all on drugs. Obviously, Penny had gone into the psych ward that night, admitting she had a drug problem. These guys are on drugs. At this point, after Adrian had come out with the ankle grinder, they all realised, fuck, we've got to clean this shit up. So they start searching the apartment for the cartridge casings from the gun. They're wiping up blood, and they make Adrian help them wrap Penny's body up in a rug. Then James and Aaron carry her body outside and put it in the boot of Adrian's car. And at some point during all this, Penny's mobile phone is still active and on, because before she was murdered, Penny had managed to get away from James and Aaron very briefly. And Geordie, this is one of the most heartbreaking elements of this story, because before she was brutally murdered, there was actually a window where she almost got away. Before being dragged back into the apartment, Penny managed to get away from these two guys and hide in some bushes nearby.
God.
And from those bushes, she called 000, which is the equivalent of 911 in Australia. In fact, she called 000 twice. The first call apparently disconnected.
Oh, shit.
And police apparently tried calling her back but couldn't reach her. Then at 11:28 p.m, she made a second call to 000.
Oh, my God.
Penny Pratt's 000 recording later became infamous across Australia because people could not believe how fucked up her 000 call was. You could hear that she was absolutely panicked. She is breathing heavily and she's whispering because she's trying not to be overheard.
Oh, my God.
But worse than this, you hear the 000 operator being an absolute fucking bitch to Penny.
What?
Who is clearly unsafe, is terrified for her life, and is desperate for help.
Oh, no.
I've listened to this call. It's on the internet. And I will put a link on the Patreon for our lovely Patreon members. The operator asks her for her name and location, and Penny gives both. Then the operator says, "What do you need police for?" And she says it like that. "What do you need police for?" And Penny's like, "Trust me, you want to get to this address." And then she explains that there are two guys, that they are violent offenders, and she names James Potter directly. And then she's like, "There are warrants out for their arrest. These guys are after me." And then the call becomes really confrontational. And the operator is repeatedly interrupting her and keeps saying, "Well, explain to me why you want the police there. I need to know."
Oh.
Why should I send the police? Why should I send the police?
What the hell now? Sorry, that's outrageous.
It is unbelievable when you're listening to it. And Penny is trying to answer while literally hiding in bushes from armed men and trying not to be heard. And then at one stage, she's like, "I'm within the vicinity of being heard," meaning she can't speak loudly because these guys are nearby.
Of course.
And the operator says to her, "Well, if I can't hear you, how am I meant to help you?"
Oh, wow. Wow, wow.
Yes.
I need to know what happens on the other side of this to that to that operator.
And Penny is there and she says,
No one's helping her. The security guard, her fucking neighbour who was trying his best but really just had the wrong end of the stick. And then this woman.
Yep.
At the end of the emergency services line.
"Yep.
No one's there to help this poor girl.
No." And she's there and she said, "You're going to get me bashed." And the operator's like, "Well, you need to answer my questions."
Oh, my God.
Bear in mind, she's already given her name,
Yes.
her location,
Yes, just now send out the troopers.
police. And she said, "I'm in a bush, hiding, answering your questions." And then the operator says, "Why are you hiding in a bush?"
Oh, my God.
And Penny is disbelieving and she's there saying, "Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Just fucking help me." And the operator said, "Stop saying, oh, my God." Yeah.
What is wrong with that person?
And remember, Penny has a learning disability. She's just
Yeah.
checked herself out of a psychiatric facility. She's scared for her life. And honestly, on the call, she sounds a little bit drunk. or something. But this 000 operator is basically treating her like she has to prove that she deserves the police to come and help her.
That's outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. She's making judgment calls based on this poor girl's, learning difficulties, and she doesn't know that, so she's assuming she's drunk or she's pranking or whatever, and that's just wrong.
And the upshot is, Geordie, the call was never passed to police, despite having the location and Penny's name and knowing that this woman was in danger. And this became one of the biggest controversies in the entire case.
We got a bit bleak, we got a bit dumb. We're two birds yakking, just having a laugh.
This May, Live at the Rose returns to the Rose Gaming Resort. Experience America's #1 yacht rock band, 3 Sheets to the Wind, live on the outdoor stage Sunday, May 24th. They're delivering the smoothest music ever created from the 70s and 80s. Get your tickets now at therosegamingresort.com. Over $1 million in jackpots paid out weekly at the Rose Gaming Resort. Problem gaming? Call 1-888-532-3500.
Afterwards, when people heard this 000 conversation, they kept saying, how much clearer could this woman have been?
Exactly. Everybody else heard it. Everybody else understood it. And that's without the hindsight, I suppose, as well, just by listening to the call itself.
And obviously these men came out, found her in the bushes, dragged her inside.
And we know what happened.
And murdered her.
Yeah.
After Penny Pratt disappeared, obviously her family immediately knew something was wrong. And her mother, Julie, reported her missing on the 1st of December 2010. And during those first few weeks, James Potter was basically lying to everyone around him. Police interviewed him in December, and he was like, I haven't seen Penny since beginning of November. He denied going to Maroondah Hospital. He denied seeing her on the night she died.
Who are these guys? They're just absolute
monsters.
Living in a world of their own.
Yeah. Meanwhile, while he's telling the police one thing, he is telling everyone else different stories.
Right.
And one person in particular was a guy called Robert Dixon, who later told the court that James Potter admitted he and another man had shot Penny Pratt.
But hang on a second, where's Adrian?
Well, hold your horses, Nellie, because he becomes crucial in this case.
But why hasn't he just gone straight to police that very next day?
Because he's with 2 absolutely wild guys with sawn-off shotguns.
Okay.
Put yourself in that guy's shoes. It's a lot. And he was already, on that night, they said, should I kill that fat cunt? Like I said, Robert had told the court that James and another man shot Penny. He also said that he admitted to putting Penny into the bath and cutting her throat.
Jesus.
Now, Robert later said he couldn't remember whether James claimed he or Aaron performed the throat cutting, but he distinctly remembered James talking about it and also about the angle grinder. And then there's another disturbing detail.
Oh, God.
James, for some reason, gave Robert Dixon a ring that had belonged to Penny, like a trophy. And he gave this ring to Robert and said, it's from the girl I knocked.
Wow.
Quote. Another guy, Shane Pivador, later gave evidence as well, saying he overheard James and Aaron whispering together about a murder. So while James is denying everything to police, he's going around bragging about killing Penny. Then eventually the whole thing just unraveled. And on the 17th of December 2010, police pulled over Adrian Krellerkamp's car, and inside the boot they found blood-stained clothing.
Oh.
Yeah. And 2 days later, Adrian gave police a statement about what had happened. And then he took investigators into bushland near Olinda in the Dandenong Ranges, and they found Penny Pratt's body. She'd been dumped in remote bushland after being wrapped in a rug and put in the boot of Adrian's car. And James and Aaron were arrested on the 19th of December 2010. What followed was really one of the more disturbing murder cases Melbourne's ever seen, because of the sheer brutality, but also because of that 000 call. And people became fixated on the idea that Penny had essentially kind of not predicted, but she knew what was going to happen to her. And she was basically begging for help. This is all wrapped up in the fact that, you know, people around her repeatedly described her as someone who wanted acceptance and companionship, but kept on ending up around fuckwits. At trial, prosecutors argued that James was an active participant in Penny's murder, not just someone who helped afterwards. But James's legal team tried to diminish his role in the murder. But prosecutors rejected his plea to being an accessory after the fact, and they went hard for a murder conviction instead. The defence focused on which gunshot actually killed Penny. So the first shot to her jaw was survivable. The second to her temple may have been survivable, but it was that third shot through her eye, fired by James in the bathroom, that was fatal.
Yes.
So James's lawyers argued she might already have been dead before he fired that.
No.
But prosecutors said the timeline didn't matter because James was already so deep in what was going on. And also that he failed to stop Aaron and told a witness, Adrian, to shut up and help drag Penny into the bathroom, where he then obviously fired that third shot, stabbed her, and then they dumped the body. The prosecution also relied on the lies that James told police about when he last saw Penny and whether he knew anything about her death, saying that that showed consciousness of his guilt and that he was trying to cover it up. And of course, another major issue was that 000 call and the one before. There were two. The defence argued that the recordings were going to unfairly prejudice the jury against James and Aaron because she sounded terrified, and she directly named James.
Yeah, for sure.
But the judge was like, nope, I'm allowing it to be played.
Yeah.
And in James's appeal, the judges later said her fear was unmistakable and it was highly relevant to the case. Aaron Gibson eventually pleaded guilty to murder, and he got 22 years in prison with a non-parole period of 19 years. James was found guilty of murder and was sentenced to 24 years in prison with a non-parole period of 20 years. Like I said, James tried to appeal his conviction, but it was later rejected on every single grounds of appeal. They concluded there was overwhelming evidence that James had acted jointly with Aaron, with one judge writing that the combination of factors led irresistibly, in quotes, to the conclusion that James was criminally complicit in Penny's murder.
Right.
Meanwhile, the Australian public were outraged by that 000 call and that operator, because people listening to that recording all felt that Penny had done everything she possibly could to communicate that she was in immediate danger.
Yeah. She had so many opportunities to survive this absolutely dreadful crime, and she did her best to get out of it, you know, and ultimately no one was there to help her.
No. And the operator seemed more focused on controlling that call than recognizing the danger and the panic that Penny had. So after this case became public, the Emergency Services Telecommunications Authority did admit that procedures hadn't been followed, saying that the call taker did not follow standard operating procedures.
Oh, I should certainly hope not. That is not the standard procedure, because it's very unhelpful and downright dangerous, as we've now know.
Yes, and that Penny didn't get the empathy and support she needed. And she also confirmed that the call was never referred to the police.
Unbelievable.
Can you fucking imagine? That woman hung up that call and went, I'm not telling the police. I'm not giving the location of this woman to go check it out.
Who is she? Who the hell is this person?
Well, she is partly responsible for this woman not receiving any help.
Are they not revealing her identity?
I couldn't find her name, and she really would not want her name out there.
No, she would not.
Apparently, the operator was disciplined and she was removed from police call-taking duties.
Thank goodness.
But they kept her within the organisation.
Wow.
Didn't lose her job.
Wow. So everybody knows who she is within the police
Oh,
force,
yeah.
but that's not being revealed to the public, and rightly so, because, you know, rough justice.
Yeah, of course. Because like you said, there are so many sliding doors moments in this case, because if her neighbour hadn't told James and Adrian she was at the hospital,
Yeah.
you know, if she'd stayed at the psych ward, if the security hadn't helped, you know, facilitate that conversation, if the police had been reached or had reached Penny after that first call, and if the second 000 call had been passed through to police properly, and if someone had gone to that address immediately, you know, things might have been different. And of course, then there's the fact that Penny herself survived the first 2 gunshots, and she kept just trying to survive. You know, she was still pleading with her attackers, just take me to the hospital, bargaining, like, take me, I won't tell the police. So it's really heartbreaking.
It is.
And like I said about Adrian, he ended up becoming one of the central figures in this case because originally he was charged as an accessory after the fact to murder because he did help in disposing of her body. But later he received an indemnity agreement in exchange for giving evidence, because without his testimony, the prosecutors probably would have struggled to reconstruct that timeline as precisely as they did. And his evidence ended up being absolutely crucial in nailing James and Aaron at the trial.
Okay.
This whole case has become one of Australia's most infamous examples of an emergency call failure, intersecting with domestic violence and drugs and mental illness and this whole systemic breakdown.
And do-gooders.
And do-gooders.
Do-gooders who think they're doing well, but actually they are throwing people into the lion's den.
Yes.
Be aware of that.
Yeah. So I'm so sorry if that story was shocking and
It was
disturbing.
rough.
It's really rough, but we haven't done a rough one in a long time.
No. And I'm actually kind of glad that you did highlight that because, or not highlight the fact that we haven't done a gory story for a long time. It was terrible and the violence was appalling. And it was a really sad story about a woman, a young mother's life being cut short. But actually it was more about a cry for help that was just not
Heard.
It was heard, but it was ignored.
Yeah. Yes.
It's almost like the passerby effect.
Yep. Exactly.
It's very disturbing that she had so many opportunities for people to help her or not get involved. Like, neighbour, don't get involved. Security guard, F off. It's nothing to do with you. Aaron, before you've realised how fucking scared you are, run out of there and call the cops and tell them where to go.
Yeah.
And of course, ultimately, the 000 call handler who felt more like berating the victim than helping.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Yep.
And obviously she has been protected by the police ultimately.
Yes, she has, but it's fucking rough, this case.
It is in so many ways. So many ways.
So sorry, guys. But there it is.
Yeah.
It's our first really rough true crime for the year.
Okay, thank you for that, Michelle. Thank you.
Oh, I don't know. Is it a thanks? But yeah, do write in and let me know if it was too much for you. And I can always go easy on these true crimes.
What we're going to do then, retract it. We can't do that. Michelle, I have a little something we could end on that's a little lighter.
Okay.
That I wanted to bring it up a little bit before. But it's some things from social media. It's something that I found on Instagram. And it's a post from evolving.qc. And it's 8 insane things that will happen by 2050 that sound completely made up.
Okay.
Do you want to hear them?
Yeah, go.
Just to ease us out, to ground us before we exit this week's episode. Your phone battery could last decades without charging? Decades!
No.
Are you kidding me?
Mine doesn't even last 12 hours.
No, apparently there's a nuclear diamond battery that traps radioactive carbon-14, whatever that is, inside a synthetic diamond. And that can deliver a continuous electrical current. There's no charging or moving parts. It just runs and runs and runs.
Okay.
And apparently that's in the
pipeline?
works.
All right.
In the pipeline.
If that's true, that's amazing.
What about this one? You'll love this. Real meat will be grown in labs. No farms, no slaughter. Just molecularly identical to the steak that you eat today. Biomanufacturing companies are already producing lab-grown meat by taking a small sample of animal cells and growing them in a controlled environment.
We've talked about this before. Test tube meat. Yes.
Soylent Green. Apparently that's going to be all up and running by 2050. Hyperspeed trains will replace short-haul flights.
Oh, okay. They do that in Japan.
Yeah, Hyperloop technology uses near vacuum tubes
Ooh.
that to move passenger pods at speeds exceeding 1,000 kilometres an hour, which is faster than most commercial airports. Melbourne to Sydney in under 30 minutes. Berlin to Paris in 10 minutes.
I'd do that. I would go in a pod. I'd get ejected. Sure, beam me up.
There are others, but I think that'll do for now because I've got to go.
I'll pop that link on Patreon for anyone who wants to hear the rest of the crazy things that are on that list.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you for supporting us on the Patreon.
Yeah,
on
thank
the
you.
Patreon. Whatever.
And if you're not a patron, why the bloody hell not?
Oh, here she goes again, berating you. Look, you've had it all today. You've had a bit of true crime. You've had a weather report. You've had Eurovision breakdown.
Yes.
And you've had some futuristic predictions. So hopefully that's enough to put in your pipe and smoke.
And in the meantime, Geordie, I guess there's really only 3 things left to say.
Wherever you are.
Whatever you do, just keep
eavesdropping.
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 Dropping.
Eavesdropping.
Dropping.
Eavesdropping. Eavesdropping.
Dropping. Dropping.